My sister's wife is very short and cold with me whenever we're alone, but is super nice to everyone else, and I don't know how to handle it. I'm 19, just finished my first semester of college across the country. My sister married her wife about a year ago. They've been together since college, best friends since childhood before that. I'm 7 years younger, so I was always kind of on the outside of their world. I didn't really know my sister's wife until the wedding, and even then I was so swamped with my first year of school that we barely exchanged more than pleasantries. This holiday visit felt like a real chance to change that. My sister's wife is 6 months pregnant, and I am genuinely, embarrassingly excited to be an aunt. I flew in from across the country, landed late, slept in the next morning. My parents went to work, my sister went shopping. I came downstairs to make lunch and didn't even realize my sister's wife was home. She came downstairs while I was at the counter. She's visibly pregnant, and I hadn't seen her since the wedding, so my first instinct was to go in for a hug. She stepped back. I apologized, said I was just excited to see her. She gave me this look, not angry exactly, more like I was an inconvenience she hadn't planned for, and turned to the fridge. I figured, okay, maybe she's tired. Pregnancy is exhausting. I tried small talk, asked when she was due. She stared at me like I'd asked something deeply inappropriate, then said March, and kept making her food. I said I was excited to have a niece or nephew, asked if she was hoping for one or the other. She let out this long, heavy sigh and said she didn't care, and that was the end of that. My sister had mentioned once that her wife had PTSD from a previous pregnancy that didn't go well. I thought maybe the baby questions were hitting a nerve. I switched topics completely, asked how work was going. She set her knife down on the counter, slowly, loudly, turned and just stared at me for a solid 30 seconds. Then she said fine, and took her plate to the dining room without another word. I spent the rest of the day tiptoeing, offered to grab her something while I was getting myself a drink. She muttered no. Asked what she was watching without looking up from my phone. She said, you wouldn't know it. It was The Simpsons. I said I love The Simpsons. She said nothing. I told her I was really happy she and my sister were spending the holidays with us. She said yeah, like I just told her it was Wednesday. And I genuinely thought this is just who she is. Reserved, private, maybe socially anxious. I decided to stop pushing and just let her set the pace. Then my parents and my sister came home. It was like a switch lit. My sister's white lit up. She was laughing, asking my dad questions, touching my mom's arm when she talked. My mom started asking about names for the baby, and my sister's wife just wouldn't stop. She had opinions, stories, energy. My mom suggested my name, since it's a family name going back to my grandmother. I said I wouldn't mind a niece with my name. My sister loved it. My sister's wife turned and looked at me like I'd suggested something offensive. Went completely silent for the rest of that conversation. At dinner I asked her to pass the potatoes. She didn't respond. I asked again, a little louder, still nothing. My sister finally said, hey, she asked for the potatoes. My sister's wife looked up, suddenly bright and cheerful, and went, oh sorry, I didn't hear you, and passed them with a smile. She heard me both times. I know she did. That night I lay in bed trying to make sense of it. She wasn't just shy or introverted. She was specifically consistently cold toward me and no one else. And she was good at it. Good enough that if I tried to explain it to my sister, I'd sound paranoid. The next morning at breakfast, she asked if I was seeing anyone. The tone wasn't friendly curiosity. It was pointed. I said no, school keeps me busy. She tilted her head and said, well, not everyone finds someone, then turned back to her eggs. My mom started gushing about how gorgeous their vacation home was, how wonderful it was to have my sister's wife in the family, and she beamed and played the role of perfect daughter-in-law without missing a beat. I took the dogs for a walk just to get some air. When I came back, my parents had left with my sister again, and it was just me and my sister's wife in the house. I thought maybe alone time again would be different. Maybe morning her and afternoon her were two separate people. She asked how I liked college. I started talking about my pre-dental program. Actually got excited for a second. She rolled her eyes. I caught myself mid-sentence and apologized for rambling. She said, no, it's fine. You just have a problem reading the room, I guess, and walked away. That was the moment I decided I had to tell my sister. I just needed to find the right time. But the right time never came, because 2 days later, my mom came home waving a tiny onesie and said, I found the most perfect thing for my granddaughter. I froze. Granddaughter. They knew the sex. I asked my mom what she meant. She said, hadn't I heard it's a girl? She assumed my sister had told me. My sister looked confused and said she'd asked her wife to tell me once they got the ultrasound results back. The room went quiet. My sister's wife's face went completely blank. No excuse. No explanation. Just that deer in the headlights look while everyone slowly understood what had happened. Something inside me just broke open. I started crying. Not dramatically, not on purpose. I just couldn't hold it anymore. I apologized, said I felt stupid, and took the dogs upstairs. My mom followed me, and downstairs, my sister and her wife started screaming at each other.